of today's video is about basically backing up your life. I will explain it in more detail what I mean. It's basically backing up, making sure that everything will be better in case disaster or something happens. Life is full of surprises. You never know when something's gonna happen to you. It could be something minor, could be major, or so sometimes unpredictable or partially predictable, but it's better to be prepared. Um, I have a website that provides a lot of links for many things. I provide numerous services. This is one of my websites. My main website says rusa.com, and then you can click on different things to find our services. I have multiple pages that you can visit and find out more about what we provide. Anyway, starting with one concern that a lot of people have is disease or illness. You know there is a lot of illnesses going on, especially now with the COVID. A lot of people got very concerned. Some people vaccinated, some other ones didn't even want to vaccinate. So there is a debate about that. So one of the things that you need to make sure is that your health is covered, having health insurance, having good nutrition, taking care of yourself, not eating junk food, things like that, because then you start developing all kind of conditions, medical conditions or disorders, all kind of stuff. So it's better to be healthy than ill and, suffering, chronic disease, all kind of diseases that happen. So it's better to be healthy so you can work better, you can live better, everything better. Okay, so first thing, health is very important. So what would be backup for that? Basically having good medical care. If you can afford it, then you may decide on other conditions, but other things. But in general, it's good nutrition, exercise. You know what to do. It's basically take care of your life, take care of safety. Basically following safety recommendations. Not, for example, not to drive fast, not to ride vehicles that are dangerous, like motorcycles, things like that. Not speeding, things like that. So basically be safety conscious when walking. Look where you're walking, not so you don't fall into a hole, things like that. Watch your step. Not to walk on slippery surfaces, like if you walk, somebody wash the floor in soapy water or whatever. Just to be careful, not to wait until it gets dry, things like that. And notify if you clean or wash your floors. Notify people. I know a lady who went to the laundry room and she slept there, and she was like 80 years old, and she broke her hip. So be very safety conscious about you and your people around you. If you see water on a supermarket, just notify right away. Even stay there until somebody comes and wipes that off. So watch your safety, watch the other people's safety. Always try to look what's going on, what is above your head, or when you bend down, watch, kind of get up slowly so you don't hit into something that is in front of you. But when you get up, you can hit your head with that. So watch your head, watch out for viruses. It's not safe to be surrounded by animals, pets, cats, dogs. Keep them clean as much as possible. Try to live separate from pets, like keep them in a separate place. They should not be jumping into your bed and staining and dirtying your couch and things like that. It should be separate from you. But people cannot stay away from. A lot of people cannot stay away from pets. And I like them, but I don't like to touch them because I want to avoid viruses and bacteria, things like that. Because they pee, they poo, and then they get their feet contaminated, dirty, and then they jump into the bed, jump into your couch, jump into you, and then you are all contaminated. So it's better to watch your health. You live in the rural area, then you're subjected to other types of viruses and bacteria. Try not to eat stuff that is unhealthy. A lot of people eat unhealthy food and things like that. Watch for viruses, bacteria, things like that. In regards to your work, you should watch out for malware, viruses, but the technological viruses on your computer. Make sure you back up your computer. Just happened to me, I think a couple of days ago. There was a major rain over here in our community, basically the city, but it was pretty strong over here, and there was a power outage, and the modem didn't respond anymore. So what happened is that I thought that it got burnt by a thunderstorm, and things like that. I mean, electrical discharges, and I thought the modem was burnt along with the power surge. That's one thing that you should get. Power protection, and better if it is one of those battery, on battery that it goes in between the wall and the computer. So this device is kind of a battery that delivers continuous charge to the computer, but it's in between. So it will absorb the extra charge from the thunderstorm or whatever, the rays that come into the land, and they could actually get to your devices. And actually we were out of electricity for quite a bit, for the whole day basically. Good thing that my laptop had its own battery. You can have a backup battery. So always back up everything. Back up your computer, back up everything. Your documents, your cellular phone, you should back it up to maybe your computer. You can connect the cell phone to the computer with an USB cable and back up your stuff. Have a second hard drive or more than one hard drive where you can back up everything. It's like before, I mean, in the past, there was this tape drives where people were backing up their data to a tape, in a tape unit. But nowadays, you can buy an extra hard drive, they're not too expensive, and from time to time back up everything, and more frequently you can back up your data. Yes, you need to make sure, because they can, let's say you drop one of those old hard drives, they can really basically fail, and then they don't longer work, and then you lose all your data. It happened to me. I removed a hard drive, and then because I had to take the data to another place, but I didn't want to take the whole computer, so I took the hard drive to plug it into another computer, and then coming off from the bus, I dropped him into the floor. He broke, and it was pretty difficult I took it to a place to fix it, and they never get it back. They said that the engineer was working on it. I mean, they came up with kind of excuses. I never got that hard drive back. So watch out for those technicians that actually break your computer, and they say that it's not fixable, and then they just steal the good stuff from your computer, say your memory, your RAM, and things like that. So watch out for these technicians. You go to a card shop, and what they do is, instead of making it better, they just make it worse. They may fix one thing and damage another. So be careful with those places. And so it's good to learn how to recover damaged data, things like that. So always learn about technology, learn about how to do things, how to fix things. Always learn. So that's why I recommend YouTube to learn a lot of skills that could help you in case something happens. Regards to the weather, I mean, there's the concern about global warming. I believe that's happening, but the strange thing is that, or the thing that is happening, that some people, some countries are going to be affected one way, others are going to be affected another way. For example, some are going to get a extreme cold, other ones are going to get extreme heat, other ones a lot of hurricanes. thunderstorms, all kind of stuff. So we need to work all together to improve our weather, our climate, and to do that we need to reduce the those things that pollute the air, those cans that contain chemicals that go up in there and destroy the air basically. Um, Other concerns, I mean, for example, these things that happen in the sea, weather events, things like that. I mean, watch out for, be careful with those when you live in those countries, those places, cities where there are hurricanes, things like that. I mean, I wouldn't live in one of those because eventually we could get hit if I live there. You could get hit by hurricanes, tornadoes, all kind of stuff. So better to live in a safe place. That's why I don't like to live next to a river. Even the living in by the sea is dangerous. I mean, by the beach is kind of it could get eventually into a tsunami in your city. I mean, I like to live in for example, in the East Coast because sometimes you get a lot of tornadoes. You can get it, ice storms or customs. So and the thing that's happening now is like on the West Coast, there's a lot of heat, dry conditions, fires. So if you live in one of those places that are close to a lot of trees, things like that, there could be a fire, So uh, that's yeah, wildfires. So try to live in a safe place, a place that doesn't have a lot of, for example, Japan, they have a lot of earthquakes. I don't like to live in a place where there's a lot of tornadoes. So it's very important to find places that are quite a bit safe, but also you need to back up your stuff in case there is an earthquake, because earthquake could happen anywhere. And then so be prepared to do back up your stuff, have things for example, in your safe deposit box. You need to watch also for thieves. I mean, you need to be very safety conscious about a lot of things, and because a lot of things could happen. So some people could back up some things to the cloud. So if something breaks, you will be okay because you have a backup. I mean, listening to in regards to your data. Another thing is that some things could be spied on. So I mean, so many things going on in this world. I mean, tsunamis, things happen, and the whole city could be destroyed. You know what I'm saying? So safety conscious all the time. There's so many things going on in the world. For example, there is some places where there's guerrilla, and so be careful where you live and who do uh, you know who is your friends, who are your things like that. For example, it's not safe to tell things that could be backfire on you. So keep your private information that way, private, because it's not good to share information that could be used against you. Well, some countries are having a lot of issues issues happening because of political ideology, political parties, things, nationalism, liberalism. I mean, nationalism, all kind of different kind of political ideas. You may have a good president next time. Next period is a worse president ever. Things like that. So be prepared to move if things happen. It's better to be safe and sorry. Like have some good mobility. That's why some people when they don't buy a property is because they want mobility. They don't want to be stuck in one place. But I mean, if you buy a property, you can always sell it. But it may take some time, and maybe there might be a housing crash, and then you lose money, or you have to sell cheap. I mean, there are so many things going on happening right now. So disaster management, how are you going to prepare for management for disaster? What are you going to do? Do you have any food in case something happens? Any food saved, money saved, things like that? So always be prepared for disasters. It could be an accident, it could be anything. So it's always good to save money, be prepared for everything that could happen because you never know. Anyway, so that's basically kind of a reminder or of what you should be doing for your life, basically backing up everything that you can, and also help others. For example, we have a humanitarian cause where we help children, elderly people, homeless, basically very good people, and some of them will have children, unemployed, things like that. So try to be safe, conscious, try to help others, and make sure that others could help you if something happens to you. So be in good terms with other people. Do not cultural enemies. Basically, do not try to be in the good terms with everyone. You don't want enemies. You want friends on your side. So try to help others. If you want to contribute to us, in our cause, you can let me know. We help a lot of people, but we cannot help everyone. So just so many people needing help. All right, so thank you for watching and have a good day and good life. Take care. Good night.